Welcome to 8.2 factoring. Hopefully you've watched the short versions of 2-term factoring, 4-term factoring step 1, and 4-term factoring step 2. This is factoring 3-term, which I'll be honest, you can't factor a 3-term, you've got to convert it to 4-term. We've been playing the X game. If you haven't been in class, I put a special on here, the secrets of the X game. You should watch that as well. So here's what we do. We take this number times that number and we put it down here. And now we try to think of two factors of positive 25. Again, we got that by multiplying those two. Factors of 25 are 1 and 25, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. That's it. Which of these two would add to be 10? Now we know that they're adding because this is positive. So that tells us the signs are the same. Because that's a positive, we know they're both positive. So 5 and 5 would add to be 10, so we write 5, 5. Whatever the variable is here, we put it here. And now we do old man glasses. Looks like old man glasses laid down on a desk. If they had like the loop-de earpiece, okay? That's what students have called that move there, to circle all 4 terms. Now you write those 4 terms in order. X squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 25. You have now converted from 3-term to 4-term. Please watch how to factor 4 terms, step 1 and step 2 at this point if you haven't already. You need to finish the problem by factoring 4 term. Write that in your notes, come to class and make sure you've done it correctly. Here's another 3-term. To convert it to 4-term, we again play the X game. Negative 10 times 1 is negative 10. Now, what 2 terms would multiply to be 10, and wait a sec, this is negative, so one has to be negative and positive. No longer are we looking for 2 terms that add to be that top number. Now it would be subtract because their signs are opposite. So we think of our factors of 10. 10 and 1, those subtract to be 9. 5 and 2, those subtract to be 3. So there's our factors. Now the one that's farther from 0 matches that sign. So it would be 5, 2, bring down our x, old man glasses, and now we have x squared minus 2x plus 5x minus 10. You now need to do 4-term step 1 and 4-term step 2. There is a shortcut on these. So I really want you to do those 2 steps and see if you see something in your answer that you could have seen up here, and come check with me. There's a really fast shortcut on these, so you don't have to do all this work. Yep, you have to discover it. Okay, and you won't be able to see it on the board, so you'll need to do your 4-step factoring. Please watch those videos. Okay, here we go. Negative 48 times positive 1 is negative 48. Because that's a negative, we know one's positive, one's negative, so they're subtracting. So we have 48. We have 48 and 1, subtracted would be 47, that's not 8. 2 and 24, subtracted would be 22, that's not 8. 3 goes in there. 1, 16, oh, shoot. So sorry. We got that right again. 3 and 16 would subtract to be 13. That's not 8. 4 and 12, those would subtract to be 8. Okay? So now we need to take the one that's farthest from 0 and match the sign there, just like we did before. So that would become a negative 12x plus 4x. When you combine those, subtract them, you would end up with a negative 8 because there's more negatives left over. Old man glasses, and we go into 4 term. X squared plus 4x minus 12x minus 48. Now again, you have to watch the 4-term factoring. They're really short films, 2 and 3 minutes. So get those watched because that's not the end of the answer right there. Okay, zero product property says that if you have a number times a number and it equals 0, one of these has to be 0. There's no other way to do it. If you could find a way, then you could come have all the candy in my cupboard. The only way to do this is to have a 0 in one of these slots. So anytime you're multiplying two numbers and they're equal to 0, it will occur when this one's equal to 0 or when this one's equal to 0. One of them has to be 0 for that to occur. Now that comes into play as we solve this. In this one, I'm going to have to go ahead and show you beyond the 3 term how to factor these. First thing is, we get it set to 0 so that we can do the zero product property. So we add 36 to each side. We get x squared plus 13x plus 36 equals 0. That's our whole goal there. Now we play the x game. What two factors would multiply to be 36, add to be 13? 1 and 36 is 37, 2 and 18 is 20, 3 and 12 is 15, 4 and 9, there we go, that's 13. See, I just keep going down the list till I get it. 4x, 9x, circle, 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 circle. X squared plus 4x plus 9x plus 36 equals 0. Don't worry about the 0 right now, we're just factoring. How you do 4 term is you cover the back two, factor out what's common here. So we have x to the front of the parentheses, reduce this, that would become x. Reduce that, it would become 4. Now if you look at it, x times x is x squared, x times 4 is 4x. It should always check that way. Now what's inside the parentheses, you copy paste over here. Now you ask yourself what times x would be positive 9x. Positive 9. Okay, so what's common? X plus 4. What's left? X plus 9. Now, by zero product property, we need to finish this. X plus 4 equals 0 when, make sure you can see that, minus 4 on each side, when x equals negative 4. X plus 9 equals 0 when x equals negative 9. Now, if you plug those values in, it'll actually come out to 0. Negative 4 squared is 16. Actually, it won't come out to 0, it'll come out to negative 36. Negative 4 times 13 is negative 52. 52 minus 16 is 36, and it would be negative because the 52 is negative. And the one that's farther from 0 carries the signs. That equals negative 36. Negative 9 squared is positive 36. And negative 9 times 13 is, what is that? I'm sorry, 9 squared is not 36, it's 81. This would be 107, negative, and we plug a negative 9 in there. 81 from 107 would be a negative 36. Okay? Make sure to ask questions if there's anywhere that I'm losing you. Okay, now if you have a function and they're asking you to find the zeros, One way to do this is to graph it and see where it crosses the x-axis. Another way to do it is to factor it and set this equal to 0. So we can change the f of x to 0. We can factor negative 12 times 1 is negative 12. My two factors that subtract to be 4 would be 6 and 2. So I get x squared minus 6x plus 2x minus 12. Cover the back two terms. I factor out an x. X times x minus 6. I copy paste this one. X minus 6. And I ask myself, what times x will give me 2x? Plus 2. Plus 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. So now I factor out what's common. X minus 6. And that leaves me with x plus 2. That equals 0, which means 0 product property. So I can now set x minus 6 equals 0. I know that happens when x equals 6. X plus 2 equals 0. Minus 2 on each side. I know that happens when x equals negative 2. Okay. Come to class with your questions.